All right, what's good, Logan? This is a real quick question. Find the perimeter of the polygon with the vertices at Q negative 5, 2, R 1, 3, and T 1, negative 1. My suggestion is look at the X values and the Y values and figure out how high and how low your graph goes. So looking at my Y values, I got 2, 3, negative 1. That means it goes a height of 3 and as low as negative 1. So I'm going to count 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then I also notice that it goes negative 5 to the right or the left, and that's the farthest. So I'm going to go down 3, and then I'm going to make sure that I have 5 across this way, plus an additional 1 for the highest across this way. So I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3. That's how far I'm going to go down. And then I'm going to go approximately 6 across. So I'm going to go 6 across from here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go 3 up across from that point. So we're going to count 3 across, negative 5, and go up 1. So negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll draw our y-axis right here. So we have our y-axis and our x-axis. And now we'll just plot our points. Our first point is Q. Q is located at negative 5, 2. So negative 5, comma 2 is where Q is. I like to write the point value as well. So we'll write negative 5, comma 2. And then next is R. R is located at 1, 3. That's right over there. So R is at 1, comma 3. And then finally, our T value is at 1, negative 1, which puts it right here. And we are trying to find the perimeter of this triangle. So after we draw that, we're going to try to figure out how far Q is to R. Then after Q to R, we're going to figure out how far R is to T. After we figure out R to T, the last thing we're going to try to figure out is how far is Q to T. So those are the three things we need. We need those pieces right there. So one more time, we need QR, then we need RT, and then finally, we're going to need to find out what QT is. So we need to figure out those three components. The easiest one is probably going to be RT because it's horizontal. So this one's the easiest because it's horizontal. So I'm going to start with that guy first. The values for RT, we're going to be using the 3 and the negative 1. So we're going to say that RT is the absolute value of 3 and negative 1. But then we're going to take it away, and this is going to give us 3 plus 1. So we know that it is 4. So RT has a length of 4, so if you want, you can write it there. Next, we'll move on to the more complicated QR. Notice that QR is the yellow one right over here. It is diagonal, so that means we need to bust out our big house. So we take out our big house distance formula. And remember, our house always has 2 rooms, and those rooms are square-sized rooms. And inside the first room, we're going to put our x's. Our first x is negative 5. Our second x is positive 1. If you don't know what I'm looking at, right there, the negative 5 and the 1. Those are the two x's we're working with. Next, I'm going to take our y's, and we're going to focus on those ones. My first y is 2. My second y is going to be 3. So we're going to be focusing on 2 and the 3 for our y's. Remember, our x is always going to minus sign between them, and our y is always going to minus sign between them. Negative 5 take away 1 is negative 6. So we're going to write down negative 6 being squared. And 2 minus 3 is negative 1, so we're going to go negative 1 squared. This is going to give us 36 plus 1 with the square root still on top of it. And this is equal to the square root of 37. Now we're going to approximate that. This is a little bit more than 6, but it's less than 7. So I'm going to estimate approximately 6.1. It might be a little bit more, it might be a little bit less, but that's what I'm going to approximate it as, 6.1. Not exactly 6, because square root of 36 is 6. All right, next we're going to focus on QT. QT is the black line that's right over there. And since it's diagonal, we're going to also use the distance formula. So we're going to take out the big, gigantic house. We're going to put 2 rooms in our house. We're going to add those rooms together. So we're going to join them with a plus sign. And then we're going to start with our x's. So we take a look at where our x values are. Our x's are negative 5 and 1. So we're going to put a negative 5 and a 1, negative 5 and a 1. And then we're going to do the same thing with the y's, 2 and negative 1. So we're going to put a 2 and a negative 1. Always remember that between your x's, you're always going to put a minus sign. And between your y's, you're always going to put a minus sign. Negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6. So we now have negative 6 being squared. Plus 2 minus negative 1, that's a 3. So we have 3 being squared. There's a big square root on top. We get 36 plus 9, and that's the square root on it, and this gives us the square root of 45. Now remember, square root of 49 is the next one. So I'm going to say that this one here is also going to be a 6. So it's more than the square root of 36, but it's less than the square root of 49. And it's less, I don't know, maybe around 6.6 or 6.5, somewhere around there. So I'm going to approximate it at 6.6. I now know that the orange side is approximately 6.1. I know that the QT, the black side, is 6.6. Now we can find the perimeter. Now remember, our definition of perimeter is that you add up all the sides. So we're going to say the perimeter is equal to the orange side, 6.1, the purple side, 4, and the black side, 6.6, and we're just going to add them all together. So we add up all these sides together, and we're going to get something along the lines of 16.7, and since there were no units being defined, we'll say units. If you have any questions, hit me up tomorrow, but this is just to help you out until then.